six. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe. And welcome to another Black Friday. Okay, if you are a faithful listener, you know that sometimes I may open a show with an original poem, or sometimes I may open a show by quoting lyrics from a song. Well, today's show was inspired by 5 different things. Number 1 thing that inspired me to do today's show was Donald Trump's comment at the National Association of Black Journalists Conference, where he said immigrants are taking black jobs. Now, of course, that comment pissed a lot of black people off because the first thing that comes to a black person's mind is, well, what the hell is a black job? So the second thing that inspired today's show was Michelle Obama's response to his black job comment, where she said, who's going to tell Donald Trump that the job he is currently seeking may be one of those black jobs? Now, the third thing that inspired today's show was Kamala Harris' phenomenal debate against Donald Trump, where she told him a new asshole, told him off the bone. Number 4, the fourth thing that inspired today's show was all of the black folks that I have personally tried to help in some way, shape, or form to no avail. I tried my ass off to help these people in some way, shape, or form, and I failed. To no avail, I was able to help them. And finally, the 5th thing that inspired today's show was Ice Cube's song, Us, which brings me to the segue. Here are the lyrics to the song Us. Verse 1. Could you tell me who released our animal instincts while the white man sitting here tickle pink, laughing at us on the avenue, busting caps at each other after having brew? We can't enjoy ourselves, too busy jealous at each other's wealth. But coming up is just in me. But the black community is full of envy. Too much backstabbing. While I look up the streets and I see all the Japs grabbing every vacant lot in our neighborhood. Build a store to sell their goods. To a country of simps. You know us po niggas, nappy hair and big lips. 4 or 5 babies on our crouch. And you expect Uncle Sam to help us out. We ain't nothing but porch monkeys to the average bigot, redneck honky. You say coming up is a must, but before we can come up, take a look at us. Second verse. And all y'all dope dealers, you as bad as the police, 'cause you kill us. You got rich when you started slinging dope, but you ain't built us a supermarket so we can spend the money with the blacks. Too busy buying gold and Cadillacs. That's what you did with the money that you raised, exploiting us like the Caucasians did for 400 years. I got 400 tears for 400 peers. Died last year of gang-related crimes. That's why I got gang-related rhymes. But when I do a show, let's kick some facts. Us blacks don't know how to act. Sometimes I believe the hype man. We mess it up ourselves and blame the white man. But don't point the finger, you jigaboo. Take a look at yourself, you dumb nigga, you. Pretty soon hip hop won't be so nice. No Ice Cube, just Vanilla Ice. And you'll sit screaming cuss, but there's no one to blame but us. Okay, last verse. Us. We'll always sing the blues, 'cause all we care about is hairstyles and tennis shoes. But if you step on mine, you push the button, 'cause I'll beat you down like it ain't nothing. Just like a beast, But I'm the first nigga to holler out peace. I beat my wife and children to a pope. When I get drunk and smoke dope. Got a bad heart condition. Still eat hog maws and chitlins. Bet my money on the dice and the horseless, jobless. So I'm a hope for the armed forces. Go to church, but they tease us with a picture of a blue-eyed Jesus. They used to call me Negro. And after all this time, I'm still busting up the Chevrolet. No respect and ignored. And I'm having more babies than I really can afford. In jail because I can't pay the mother. Held back in life because of my color. Now this is just a little summary of us, but y'all think it's dumb of me to hold a mirror to your face, but trust nobody gives a fuck about. And Ice Cube, the writer, he ends the song with the word about and allows the listeners to fill in the word us.
Yeah.
So, okay, I know that was a lot to digest. So with that being said, I'm going to reiterate the 5 things that inspired today's show. Donald Trump comment about black jobs. Michelle Obama's response to Donald Trump's comment. Kamala Harris debate against Donald Trump. And the black folks that I've personally tried to help to no avail. And finally, the 5th thing that inspired today's show was Ice Cube, the song Us. So fellas, with that being said, I have a 2-part question. Out of 100%, what percentage are we as black folk responsible for our progress in this country, and what is holding us back?
I'll say 100%.
I agree 100%.
100%.
It's on us.
Yeah.
Just like what Ice Cube was saying. Now, prior to certain things changing since the 60s or whatever, when we didn't have ways to vote, this would have been a different conversation. But now that we do we've sat in all of the highest positions, highest ranking positions in America we've sat in. So when she mentioned the job that Donald Trump is looking for just might be a black job, well, guess what? It is. It has been before. So when he mentioned, and that was another question, because what is a black job? What are the black jobs? I think he opens his mouth and just says unnecessary stuff that makes no sense at all. He don't think about the stuff that he's saying, because yes, the job that he's seeking is a black job and it's on record. So 100% of us not doing what we supposed to be doing is our fault. We can't blame the white man for nothing no more. That was back when we didn't have rights. Before the civil rights movement is when we could blame the white man for us going through what it is. So when I see young brothers that don't want to go and get a job and they still talking about the white man, oh man, you tripping. That man ain't holding you back. Man ain't got no reins on you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Slash. We have to hold ourselves 100% accountable, but the other question, or the second part of that question, was what's holding us back, Freddie G?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think we're holding ourselves back, making excuses. And like you just said, Slash, there isn't a position that we haven't held, so there should be no excuses nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, but we were quick to use them as we were coming up. But again, this generation definitely shouldn't have any excuses to holding them back. We can go to the hood now and we'll see, fellas we grew up with on the same corner.
Well, see, I think what happens in this situation is the government realized that, okay, they doing it. We have to find a way to kind of slow them down, but indirectly, because they can't directly stop us by talking to us. Right. That's not going to stop us. Right. So the indirect stopping is the stuff that they allowed into our communities, such as the Chinese people with the stores.
Right.
That keeps us from thinking, oh, I need to get a corner store right here. So now we can't make that money because we're not even thinking about that.
Right.
We're thinking about going in there buying the 40 ounce from the people. So I think the government had certain things in place to actually hold us back.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
And I think only us can allow that to happen. And if we're not educated on some of the things that they've placed in our communities in order to surpass that, then we'll forever be holding ourselves back.
It's simple, bro. If you know better, do better.
Do better.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. I agree with you on all that. I say the only way we can be really held back, just say you've been on a job and you've been somewhere, and you've been there a while, and your promotion is coming slow or not coming at all. That's the only way possible. But as far as like K Money saying, I've seen a lot of fellas on the corner, man, and black men, white men holding me down. Ain't nobody holding you down. You're holding yourself down.
That's right.
You ain't even trying. You know what I'm saying? And then, so yeah, we're 100% all the way.
Okay, so now the $1 million question is, how do one? I know you can't help everybody. Mm-hmm. I know you can't. You can preach until you're blue in the face to try to get the black community to, hey, let's get together, let's do this, let's try to get better for us. Where do we start? Where do we start? If you got to start with yourself, how do you, just all four of us here, we're up in age, right? Mm-hmm. We're up in age. Mm-hmm. If you got to look within and start with yourself, how do you progress?
I think that you start with your legacy, your family. You start there, because if you teach them right, then they'll follow. If you teach them wrong, then they don't understand. So I think with us, when it starts with us, we have to start with the younger us, our children, and we have to teach it to them so that they can teach their children. Mm-hmm. But it's a domino effect now.
It is. And if you don't have kids, I would suggest, like I said, I volunteer with basketball youth, or if your local community center, you can volunteer, man, with the kids, after school programs, and like the legacy, pass it on to your children, the children.
So let me make sure I'm following you correctly.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose nothing.
Yeah.
So when I say look at you personally,
right?
/ you think that personally, in order for you to progress, you got to start with your kids to instill whatever you need to instill in them.
Yeah, because at this age, we can't take it with us. And I mean, I've had a chance to get my life together, right, in a sense, from 20, 30 years old. I can't teach me nothing new besides what I already learned. And now what my responsibility is at this age is to hand this down.
Pass on the knowledge.
So now if I was 20 years younger, this would be a different conversation. Because at that point, if I was 20 years old and you asked me that, I'd be like, well, man, first thing I need to do is make sure I got a job that I'm going to have benefits with. So when I get to this age, I have something to fall back on rather than, being without medical care, health care, stuff like that. That's really important once you get up in age. That'll affect you if you don't have, something to fall back on once you get older. And then you'll really be looking at yourself like, what did I do wrong at our age? But I think for me, and what I focus most on, because I got grandchildren, I had my time. I did what I was going to do and still working. We can all be better, but I don't see myself in a horrible position to where I say, oh, I need to better myself, except some things, personal issues that you deal with, and maybe so. But in life, it's now I'm handing down to, the younger generation in my family.
Okay. I think, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'm just kind of recapping because I want to make sure I understood him correctly.
Yeah.
And then I heard Comedian 96. You pretty much, you kind of echo what he said, but then you mentioned like youth basketball.
Yeah.
And kind of paying it forward, I guess.
Yeah, you want to pay it forward. You want to.
And that's to help you progress, right?
Yeah, because you got to think, I got to pass the knowledge on to someone else. Right, so anything that helped me to make me come up, I want the kids to put them on the right track as.
Okay.
And see, just that alone, not to cut it, but that makes you a better person under God's eyes.
Right.
So that's the only way you're going to progress in life is through him.
Yep.
And when you're doing what his job is meant for you to do, you've done it. That's what it's about. It's nothing else that can make you a better you besides explaining to others and your family what they need to make themselves a better person.
Right. Okay, man.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and I'm kind of piggybacking off of Slash as well. Whatever it was that I felt that I have may have been ignorant to that possibly hindered me from achieving or getting where I wanted to get to. Educate myself and pass that knowledge down to our kids and so forth, so they won't make those same mistakes.
Right.
And I feel that is a form of me growing by sharing that knowledge. So yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with what Slash is saying, and as far as protecting and taking care of our legacy.
Okay, so for me, I do agree, Slash. However, I like to read, and reading for me constantly helps me evolve. And I like to read things that's going to help me to understand what's going on in my federal and local government. In order for me to understand that a little bit better, to pass along not just to my family members, but to my friends and my brothers and colleagues as well. Because again, it don't help if I just keep it all to myself.
Right.
So I like to read to pass things along to individuals that I've learned, some things that I've learned, and plant that seed within them. Now, of course, I'm speaking of black men and black women.
Right.
Because that's my way of kind of giving back to the community.
Right.
And y'all notice that I said at the beginning of the show, there were 5 things that inspired me to do this show. And the 4th thing was where I personally tried to help people to no avail.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form, I've tried to really, truly, in some way, shape, or form, help them to progress, to help us grow, and it just go through one end out the other. It just bounce off.
Right.
And to no avail. But I constantly continue to try to do that. And even if it's not received at the moment, because I know that sometimes when I'm doing it for individuals, they have no clue that I'm doing it.
Right.
They are clueless that, hey, I'm really planting the seed. Hey, here's something I learned. Here you go.
Right.
I'm going to plant this seed, do something with it. And sometimes they have no clue that that's what I'm trying to do. And then I may see them a month later and I pour some water on the seed that I tried to plant. And I realized that seed has never been planted.
It ain't even there.
It didn't even. They dug it up right after. And here it is. I'm trying to water something that ain't even there.
Ain't there. Yeah.
So in regards to progressing, I do agree that we are 100% responsible for ourselves. But some kind of way, man, instead of talking about it, yeah, this podcast is a start to talk about it. But man, some kind of way, man, we have to be able to figure out how do we help our community grow.
So it used to be done through church. However, now some of the ways that churches are operating doesn't consist on helping the community. So we can't do it like that. There's got to be other ways, and I like what Comedian 96 said when he said, try your community centers and volunteer.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that because there are some people who don't have kids to give back to,
Or their kids are grown.
they grown,
Yeah.
but you still have to some kind of way teach our community, the black community, how to stand strong on what we believe and what to believe. Don't just believe stuff because somebody said, know how to decipher between the truth and the nonsense. I think that's one of the first ways we have to start. We have to notify people of nonsense when they do it. At that time, you don't let it go on and drag on, and you see somebody doing something that makes no sense, and you watch this for months. That's your fault now. So I think we have to attack and address issues as we see them and how they come. And this is just amongst the black community. Now, people get mad at the truth, But hey, man, I'm telling you this because as a black person and the love that I have for my people, I think I need to tell you that. And I think that's one place that we can start also, is just when we see something, say something.
Yeah. Ain't that dry snitching?
No, not. I mean,
snitching. I'm just messing with you.
So here's my thing, and this is. Let me give an example.
Okay.
If my second, third cousin, of course, younger than me, I see him standing on the corner with a gang of dudes. I see 3-4 dudes in the corner shooting dice. So I know it's drug selling going on.
You know something's, yeah.
I'm wrong if I don't go tell my third cousin, hey, man, you know this what you're doing ain't it, man.
Yeah.
You got to get off this street corner.
You're held accountable.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, you'll be held accountable.
And if I don't hold myself accountable and something happened to him 2-3 weeks later and I didn't say nothing, I'm accountable.
Yeah.
But if I said something and something happened to him 3-something weeks later, then he's accountable because he should have listened. I told you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one place that we can start by just mentioning, and when we see something that we know ain't right amongst our black people, we need to say something. True. You know, I think that's one good place to start. As grown folks, you know, we need to take initiative.
That's a good place. However, what do we do about those that you mentioned earlier? We can't. It's something in regards to how they receive it, you know, because you can't help nobody that don't want to be helped.
That don't want to be helped. That's true. And if they don't receive it the way we give it to them, you got to just move on.
So we don't continue to try to press the issue because
not with that person. Just leave them where they stand because they never gonna. You can talk to them till you black and blue in the face. Something has to happen in order for them to even sit down and understand what you told them.
So, question: would you consider that as being a lack of consistency on us trying to do better, but we're not reaching those that don't want help, and we're giving up on them too fast?
That's a good question.
I'm glad you said that, K Money, because I'm sure when Martin Luther King was marching and John Lewis, Jesse Jackson, all of them were marching, I'm sure that there's a lot of people that they couldn't reach for whatever reason. They couldn't reach them, right? And a part of me feels like unless they were just straight up told, leave me the hell alone, don't come around me no more, I think that they continue to try.
Yeah, you have to imagine, man. When we first started marching, the participants, I'm sure it was small, and the more he did, the larger it eventually became. You know, he started reaching more and more, but he was consistent.
Yeah, so like for the people, again, I want to harken back to what I mentioned, what number 4 was on the list of 5, where I said that I'm constantly trying in some way, shape, or form to help to no avail, right? And a part of me don't want to give up, and I don't give up. I just try to figure out a way for a different way to skin the cat.
Gotcha.
You know, I try to plant the seed differently because I actually, deep down inside, I really do care. I really do care because, man, it's crazy when you look at us. You look at where the government is going. What I mean government, mean the politicians, and namely Donald Trump, and all of the things, the hatred that's spewed out here, and how many supporters this man have. And we're speaking of a whole country that supports the rhetoric that he does. And even if it's a 50-50 split, 50 Kamala Harris, the other 50 Donald Trump, that's 50 too many that believes in the rhetoric that he's saying, that wants the divisiveness and the hatred and the name calling and all that stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of scary, man, for our community.
Yeah. It is.
For the black community, you know?
Real shit.
So, man, I'm going to bring it to a close, man. My black fact is actually are 8 quotes from 8 different people who I admire. So listen to this real closely. These are 8 quotes from 8 different people who I admire. So quote number 1, if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. That's Marcus Garvey. Quote number 2. Those who say it can't be done are usually interrupted by others doing it. James Baldwin. Number 3. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. Frederick Douglass. Number 4. It isn't where you come from, it's where you're going that counts. Ella Fitzgerald. Number 5. Character is power. Booker T. Washington. Number 6. The future rewards those who press on. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. Barack Obama. Number 7. I can accept failure, but I can't accept not trying. Michael Jordan. And number 8, and this is my favorite of them all. It's an original quote. If you can make a positive impact on a total stranger, you just planted the seed to change the world. Fred Gus. This concludes another dope episode of Black Friday. Tune in next week for Music Monday. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and for all my YouTubers, don't forget to like and subscribe.
So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from